So hi everyone, good afternoon, and we're gonna start the class right now. So it's been started. So I have seen loads of comments. So a lot of students are saying 5. Okay, so Junaid said 5 classes. He enjoyed. So Shah's been 5 classes. Reserve 5 classes. Well done, well done. Thank you. Mim said all classes. Excellent. So Shahriar Hassan said 4th classes and today is the 5th class. Okay. Shahriar, if you have missed a class, so if you go to our Facebook page, still you can get it. So all the classes recorded, and I have put all the classes together from 1 to 4. So what I'm gonna do, today I'll put all the classes together again. So from 1st classes to 5th classes, right? So this is the last class, right? So now I'm gonna ask you, have you learned anything from those previous 4 classes? Type in the chat box if you learn anything. So what have you learned? Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see. So what have you learned so far from 4 classes? Type in the chat box. I'm really curious to see. So did it help to grow the confidence? Have you started speaking? Have you built up the basis or foundation of English? So what have you learned from 4 classes? Please type in the chat box. I'm really curious to see. All right. So still I'm taking probably 1 or 2 minutes to bringing all the people together. Then we're gonna go into the lesson. So please type in the chat box in like few words. What have you learned so far from 4 classes? So Rizal said how to make more sentences and speak English fluently. Okay, excellent. Learn several things. Yeah, so A. Rahman would like to know what are the several things you have learned, right? So Mim said, actually, I didn't submit any homework yet, but I practice at home. Excellent. So Mim, don't worry about that. We're gonna give you 1 day time to do the homework, make it, and submit all the homeworks together tomorrow. Because tomorrow that's gonna be off. Because Sunday I'm really excited about England and Italy. So that's why probably. So we have got a group of friends. So we're gonna watch the football together, and I think we are going somewhere else as well. So I'm so sorry. Otherwise, probably I was thinking to take another class. However, so tomorrow would be your time to make all the homework and submit into the group. So once you submit all the homeworks to a group, and I'll send you. Okay, I think today I'm gonna give you all the email address where you need to send an email asking for your certificate. So once you request for your certificate, what are you gonna do? We're gonna take a look in the group that how many homeworks have you done. So if you have done 5 homeworks, well done. We're gonna send you your certificate on your name. So I'll give you all the details at the later in this class. Rosie said how to make lots of sentences differently. Okay, excellent, excellent. So that means you have learned so many things from these 5-day challenge, right? So now I'd like to ask you the last question is, so how many of you have submitted your homework so far? Type in the chat box me. If you have submitted the homework, please type in the chat box me. And also you can put the number. How many homeworks have you submitted? Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Right? How many have you submitted? Okay. Okay. So Zuna said 4. Excellent. Shahab said 1. Okay, Shahab, you got to be hurry. So by tomorrow, you need to submit all your homework, right? It's easy. Just if you take the phone and if you just start recording, hey, blah, 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 da, 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 right? It's going to take 5 minutes. But before that, you obviously need to practice. Otherwise, you won't be confident enough to record the video and submit into the group, right? Okay, Mim said today I'll submit all the homeworks. Excellent, Mim. Oh, we are really excited to see that. Right, so now I'm gonna share with you something is very, very important. And so you take the phone and if you just start recording, hey. Okay, so this is the class we're gonna share with you today. Let's see if it is presentable. Okay. So this is the class I have shared with you so far in the last class, right? So please take a look and see if you can recognize it. This is structure. So if you can recognize, please type in the chat box, yes, I do. So do you recognize this structure? What you have practiced a lot in the last class? So if you recognize, please type in the chat box, yes, I do. Okay, let me put the things together. Okay, so I can see a lot of comments. Excellent, excellent. Please type in the chat box and engage with me, respond with me, and this is how we're gonna enjoy the whole class. So now you have practiced a lot, and if you missed yesterday's class, I would say that's one of the most important class you have missed it. So I would definitely recommend you, when you get time, please go to the Facebook group, find out all the recorded class and watch one by one, right? So now I'd like to take a test, and you got to be very, very, very hurry, right? So I'm going to ask you a few questions and you need to answer me. So let's say the word I'm going to put is play. Type in the chat box play. Just type in the chat box play. Okay, play. Yeah, that's right. So now I'm going to give you another word, football, right? So please type in the chat box football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, can you please ask me a question if I watch football match? Type in the chat box. How do you ask yes, no question using do? So type in the chat box, please. How are you going to ask me a question if I watch the football match? Type in the chat box. I would like to see your question, how you can make a question, right? So using do, please type in the chat box. Okay. Excellent, Junaid. Congratulations. So the question is, do you watch football match? Yeah. So can you please type in the chat box, all of you, type in the chat box the same question. Do you watch football match? I'd like to see everyone else's comment. So Junaid said, do you watch football match? Bishas said it. Ruhul, thank you. Thank you for responding. Ruzi, thank you for responding. Ontu, thanks for responding. Rahman, thanks for responding. Sharia, thanks for responding. Okay, Afruza, thanks for responding. So the question is, do you watch football match? That's the first question. So now, using why, can you please ask me another question? So I'm going to answer you, yes, I do. The answer is yes, I do. Next question, using why. Can you please ask me the question, using why? Type in the chat box, using why. Okay. MD Junat said, why you watch football match? Junat, do you see this do? So you missed it. The question would be, why do you watch football match? Yeah, that's right. Otherwise, the question is wrong. So you made a sentence, that's interrogative sentence though, but it's wrong. So you got to follow the sequence, right? Why do you watch football match? So I'd like to see everyone's comment. Please type in the chat box, why do you watch football match? Why do you watch football match? Yeah, excellent, excellent. I'd like to see everyone else comment. So yeah, Roshan, thank you. Thanks for responding. Sharia, thanks for responding. Excellent, excellent. So the next question I'm going to ask you, right? Next question I'm going to ask you. Next question I'm going to ask you. Okay, so you asked me, why do I watch football match? I watch football match because I enjoy it. Because I enjoy it. Next question I'm going to ask you. So how, using how, can you please make the question? How? Using how, ask me the question. Yeah, please type in the chat box. How? Yeah, that's right. That's the question. How do you watch football match? Yeah, I'd like to see everyone else's comment, then I'm going to answer you. So please type in the chat box. Okay, so how do, okay, Roshan, it should be, there should be an EU. So how do you watch football match? So you need to put a subject as well. So don't make mistakes, right? So how do you watch football match? How do you watch football match? Excellent, excellent. Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. So how do you watch football match? And you need to give a question mark as well. So if you don't give the question mark, so in speaking, so we put a stress like, how do you watch football match, right? So in writing, you need to just put a question mark. Next question I'm going to ask you, right? So, okay, how long? Ask me a question using how long. How long? Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see if you can make the sentence. So how? Okay, can you please type in the chat box using how long? Okay, yeah, that's right. So Ruzi said, how long do you watch football match? Yeah, that's right. Rahman said, how long do you watch football match? Yeah, that means, see, it's very easy. I mean, if you practice a lot and if you respond me and if you answer me. So how long do you watch football match, right? So usually we watch football match for 90 minutes, right? Usually we watch football match for 90 minutes. So next question I'm going to ask you. So there are a lot of football matches going on, right? So Copa America, whatever it is said, and Euro football match as well, right? Euro Cup as well. So now, if I ask you, so using where, please ask me a question. Where do you watch football match? Excellent for that. Yeah, that has to be the question. Where do you watch football match? Okay, so usually I watch football match at home. Okay, so where? So please type in the chat box where. Okay, the next question is when. So using when, can you please type a sentence using when and ask me the question? Yeah. So please type in the chat box where do you, okay, when. So when do you watch football match? Yeah. So when do you watch football match? So I watch football at 8 o'clock. Okay, next question I'm going to ask you. So if you ask me if I support any team, right? So how are you going to ask that question? So using which, ask me the question. So if I support any team, so how are you going to ask that question to me? So which, right? Which team? So please type in the chat box. So which team? Okay, until you miss do, right? So which team do you support? Which team do you prefer or do you support? Yeah, excellent. Which team do you support? Okay, yeah, that's right. So please type in the chat box. I'd like to see. Okay. Okay. So so if I give you the answer, of course, you know I live in the UK and I support England, right? So my answer should be I support England. So the same question I'm going to ask you. So which team do you support? Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see. Which team do you support? Oh my God, lots of flags, Brazil flags. Which team do you support? Please type in the chat box. Okay, so which team do you support? Please answer me. Type in the chat box. Which team do you? Okay, so we got Argentina, Germany. Okay. Okay. So whatever team is the most favorite one, just mention the name. Okay. So which team do you support? Okay, excellent. So I can see a lot of people are putting Brazil, then Germany and Argentina as well. Okay, so excellent. So this is how we can ask a lot of questions, right? So now, what are you gonna do? Here you go. This was the homework. So what I'm gonna do, I will. Okay, probably some of you don't watch whatever. I mean, your colleagues done the homework. So what I'm gonna do, I'll try to. I'm not sure how to do it. Minimize. Okay, got it. So I'll show you some sort of video what your colleagues submitted, right? And you missed it. So anyway, just I'm gonna show you. So if I go to IELTS study in Canada, okay, so it's here. So yeah, so let's say a video I'm gonna show you how you could make a lot of videos. So let's say I'm gonna go to Bilal Hossain's video. Just watch this.
Hi everyone, this is Sandy Bilal Hossain. I hope everyone doing very wonderful. Today, I'm going to talk about our cue card, which is a place you live. Well, I live in Dhaka. Why I live in Dhaka? Because a lot of my relatives, uncle, auntie, cousins, they are living in Dhaka, and we have business in Dhaka. So if I need any kind of help, I easily get my relatives. And all kinds of facilities are available here. In particular, medical facilities, educational facilities, transport facilities, good shopping mall there, here, entertainment facilities as well. I live in Dhaka since 2010. Why is it famous for? Dhaka city is a capital, and subsequently the center of all attractions, activities, administrations of Bangladesh. Staying in Dhaka is an advantage because it's a cosmopolitan and developing city. Growing a number of cultural centers, for example, as I mentioned earlier, malls, bookshops, super shops, and a lot of things there as well. Most interesting thing is that a lot of famous historical places in this city. For example, Shonargaon, Ahsan Museum, Dakeshwari Temple, Bangladesh National Museum, National Parliament House, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Novel Theatre, Lalbagh Fort. So throughout the year, during each season, the city adorns itself with special colors and seasonal beauties, which is extremely more dynamic. Spring has Poila Falgun celebration, summer has Poila Boishakh, winter has Fita, which is very special piece. And each year in February, we celebrate Akusha Book Fair. And another most interesting thing is we can find easily various kind of street food and tea as well, like our Bengali name cha. So I have a lot of memories in this place. One is when I was in university, it was 2018. Might be I was in 8th semester. So after our midterm exam, me and some of my friends, we were planning to go Bangladesh National Museum. So we had planned and we went Bangladesh National Museum. I have seen a lot of rich collection of stories, arts, events, their artifacts related to Persian Bangladesh. And one sad story was I was brought to tears reading about the sufferings of millions of people. So thanks everyone. If I do any mistake, please correct me.
Okay, thank you. So can you please type in the chat box? How was his presentation? Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box, how was his presentation? And due to short of time, so I can't show you each and everyone else. So I've seen there are fabulous videos over there, right? Do you think the Bilal Hossain, he is committed? Type in the chat box. Do you think he is committed? Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, a lot of people are saying, yeah, it was excellent, tremendous, very good, excellent, nice, outstanding, just incredible. So this is the thing you got to do. So now my question is, do you think he's committed? If you think he's committed, please type in the chat box committed. Type in the chat box committed. And Bilal, are you here? So can you please type in the chat box, how many class have you attended and how many homeworks have you submitted? Just, I'm really curious. Please type in the chat box. Just type in the chat box. Yeah, he's really committed. He's really committed. Okay, so let me find him if he's here. So okay, so Bilal, can you please unmute yourself and if possible to turn on your video? So Bilal, can you hear me? Okay, so Bilal Hassan said all the classes, I think. Okay, if possible, please I'm asking to unmute yourself. Just unmute. Okay, so he said he's outside. That's fine. So all you got to do, you got to be committed and you got to do the homework every day. And this is how you're gonna improve, right? So I know there are a lot of people, they didn't take it seriously, and that's fine with me. Can you remember I said something is if you pay attention, right? So probably you didn't pay and that's why you didn't pay attention, right? However, some of you, they have done really well. They have taken it seriously and they were committed as well. And this is how, they're developing tremendously. So now I'd like to take you to the lesson and we're gonna practice a little bit because I think I have given you two medicines, right? If you're struggling with fluency. So number one, there was, so what do you do every day? You need to practice it regularly, 3 times in a day. And the second one was, what does your favorite person do every day, right? And the third one is, if you're struggling still with fluency, the third question would be, what did you do yesterday? Type in the chat box what I just said. What did you do yesterday? Yeah, I'd like to see everyone else. Please type in the chat box, what did you do yesterday? Yeah, that's right. So what did you do yesterday? So that's the third medicine I'm giving you right now. So if you're struggling with fluency, of course, I would recommend you, please practice this every day until you get your fluency. So if you ask me, how long do you have to practice it? Until you get your fluency. This is the medicine for fluency. So if you don't follow me, if you don't follow my instruction, I would say, sorry, the fluency, the language is not for you, right? So if you're really eager to develop your fluency, you got to practice these 3 things every day. So now I'm gonna sharing my screen again. Here you go. If I can go, yeah, that's right. So that was the homework, and I have seen a lot of people, they have done really, really well. So now, so this is the today's class, and I would definitely say this is the challenge for IELTS candidate as well, because they always mix up with present and past, right? Do you struggle these sort of problems? I mean, when you start speaking and you mix up with tense and present and past, and once you finish that, you found, oh, wow. So I said a lot of things about these sort of things, and I didn't know I made a lot of mistakes. So please type in the chat box, me, if you struggle with this. I'd like to see how many. And let's see how many of you struggle with this, especially past tense. Type in the chat box. Yeah, that's right. So today we're gonna practice it a lot so that you don't have this sort of problem anymore in your life, right? Are you ready? If you're ready, please type in the chat box ready. I think I'm too full. That's why I didn't. I don't have that much energy, right? Just had my lunch, and it's Saturday, so my wife, she cooked a lot of delicious food. It's hilsa fish, right, and beef as well. Is feeling sleepy anyway. So let's bring up the energy right now. So who is ready? Type in the chat box ready if you're really ready. Okay, so we're gonna practice these things, right? So it's very simple. So it's called verb to. Please type in the chat box VERB2, verb to. So just you need to focus on these things, right? If you just know how to convert from present, I mean verb 1 to verb 2, you're gonna do really well. So now I'm gonna give you, okay, I'll pronounce some word and you need to give me verb 2. For example, if I say go, you need to type there went, right? So are you ready? Okay, I know you are ready. So see, what would be the verb 2? Please type in the chat box. Okay, I'd love to see everyone else comment. Okay, okay, excellent, excellent, excellent. Next one is write. So write, what would be the verb 2? Please type in the chat box. Okay, excellent, excellent. So it means you know. Next one is run, run, R-U-N, run. What would be the verb 2? Please type in the chat box. Yeah, excellent. So is it running? Okay, so yeah, verb 2 is ran. So next one would be go. So what would be the past of go? Excellent, excellent, thank you. Thanks for responding. Next one is get up. What would be the past of get up? Okay, yeah, that's right. Thank you. Thanks for responding. You got to be very quick, right? Next one is read. Or what would be the past form of read? Okay, it's the same spelling, but the pronouns would be different. Read. Okay, read, read. Okay, next one is watch. What would be the past form of watch? So watch television, right? So what would be the past form? Type in the chat box, very quick. Watch. Okay. Okay, next one is practice. What would be the past form of practice? Type in the chat box very quickly. Practice. Practice. Okay, yeah, that's right. So T-I-S-E-D, make sure practiced. Okay, so what would be the next one is drink. Drink. Okay, make sure your spelling is right. Right, so it's confusing. Some people are saying D-R-A-N-K, some people are saying D-R-U-N-K. So yeah, that's right. Okay, next one, very quick, very quick. Feel. What would be the past form of feel? Okay, excellent. So you know it very well, but while we're speaking, you need to make sure that instead of using verb 1, you're using verb 2. That's the only difference you got to do. So now, what are you gonna do? We will practice this structure. So, for example, this is how I need to practice. So I practiced, we practiced, you practiced, they practiced, he practiced, she practiced, it practiced, and Tony practiced. So please make sure that for he, she, it, Tony, for past form is the same. Just you need to bear in mind, right? So for past form is the same for he, she, it, Tony. There is no issue with s or es, right? It's very straightforward. So what are you gonna do? We're gonna practice a little bit. So now I'll read all the sentences using one breath. Then I'm gonna unmute yourself and you need to give me all the sentences, right? So let's start. So I practiced, we practiced, you practiced, you practiced, they practiced, he practiced, she practiced, it practiced, and Tony practiced, right? So what I'm gonna do, I will unmute yourself And please make sure you unmute yourself and practice with me, right? So please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences using one breath. 3, 2, 1, go.
I practice, we practice.
You practice, he practice, she practice, they practice, he practice,
we
everyone
practice, you practice, they practice, he practice, she practice, he practice.
Already practiced, right? So I'm gonna give you one more time, and please practice with me. This time you got to give me all the sentences using just one breath. So please unmute yourself one more time. 3, 2, 1.
We practice, you practice, you practice, they practice, he practice, she practice, he practice. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're gonna go a bit fast, because if you, attend all the previous classes, it's gonna be easier for you. But if this is the first class, probably it's gonna be a bit difficult. So I'd like to make sure that if you miss few classes, please, there will be a recorded class on YouTube. Please make sure you watch them, right? So now let me press the present one. So these are the regular verbs, right? So I have asked you a lot of verb too, and you told me. So for example, want, learn, accept. So you see the difference is want, wanted, just we have added ed, learn, learned, accept, accepted. So this is called regular verb. That means there are some rules and regulation you got to follow. And there are some irregular verbs as well. And I'm so sorry, there is no rules and regulation for that. Just you got to memorize. And if you practice, if you utilize them, many more times, it's gonna be there and you can utilize them, right? So regular and irregular. Please type in the chat box if you understood me, what I just said. Type in the chat box, regular and irregular. Regular and irregular. So regular verb means just you need to add d or ed, and this is how we make from verb 1 to verb 2. But just if you type on Google, what are the list of regular verbs, you will find it. You need to, I definitely recommend you. So I know there are a lot of countries is shut down or locked down. So if you get chance, all I want from you is just type in the chat box the list of regular verbs, right? So download them and print them and just put somewhere else on your bookshelf, on your table. So this is how, once you see it, just so you can, remember. So this is gonna be very helpful for you. So yeah, so the list of regular verbs and the list of irregular verbs, I definitely recommend you download it, print it, and hang on the wall somewhere where you study, right? So that's the thing. So now, so this is the irregular verbs, as you know. So there is no rules and regulation for this. Go, went, write, wrote, see, saw, speak, spoke. So this is how it works. So now the question is, what did you do yesterday? Can you remember? If you can remember, please type in the chat box, yes, I can. Can you remember what did you do yesterday? Please type in the chat box. Yeah, the answer is yes, I can. So now, if you can, then I'm gonna take you somewhere else. And before that, would like to, okay, so these are the things, if you just turn them from verb 1 to verb 2. So can you please take a look on the screen and read them out? So let's start with I, right? So I got up early in the morning yesterday, then I brushed my teeth, made my breakfast, then had a cup of tea. Then I got ready for my office and I took car and I drove to my office, and then I started working. And in the afternoon, I had my lunch, and then I took rest for some time, and I started working. And I think I left office around 5 o'clock. Then I went to tea stall and had a cup of tea. And then again, I went to car park. I drove down to my home. I refreshed myself, and I watched television for some times. And then in the evening, I got together with my family. I took some snacks and I helped to cook to my wife. And I took dinner, read some books, and then I chatted with my family members. Then took a look on tomorrow's plan, and I got ready for sleeping, and I went to bed. So this is how you need to give me all the sentences, right? So what are we gonna do? We're gonna practice here, and then I'll take some sort of volunteer from you, and then you need to present yourselves, right? So first time I'll ask you, so what did you do yesterday? And you need to give me all the sentences. Are you ready? So if you're ready, please type in the chat box READY. Type in the chat box. I'd like to see. Just type in the chat box READY. So if you're ready, then definitely I'll recommend you, please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. What did you do yesterday? Please share with us.
I got up early.
I got up, brushed teeth, made breakfast, had a cup of coffee, get ready, office to brush, then arrive office, started working, had lunch, rest, studying, working, studying, office, went to school, took a cup of the bus, returned home, refreshed myself, watched TV, attended 15 days challenge, finished my homework, got together with family, snacks, dinner, rest with my family, chat with my family, tomorrow plan, got ready to sleep, went to bed. Thank you.
I finished my homework.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So please type in chat box who is ready to give a presentation. I know you have gone through 4 classes and you have got so much confidence. If I ask anyone else to jump in and give a presentation, I know you'll be, but some people are still shy, and that's why I requested you to make a presentation, recording the video, and just putting into the Facebook group. However, now please type in the chat box who is ready to give a presentation right now. Who is ready? Type in the chat box, please. Who is ready to give a presentation? Type in the chat box presentation. Then I'll take you and would like to hear your presentation. So Junaid said he's ready. Let me find him. Where is Mr. Junaid? Okay, Junaid, please unmute yourself and give a presentation. So what did you do yesterday?
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Yesterday, I got up early in the morning. Then I brushed my teeth. I made my breakfast. After that, I had a cup of tea. Then I got ready for myself to go my own workplace. I took my bus. I arrived at my shop. I started working. At afternoon, I had lunch. Then I took rest. I also started working. I left my shop. Then I went to a tea stall. I took a cup of tea. I took bus. Then I returned my home. I refreshed myself. I watched TV in the afternoon, and then I finished my homework. At night, I got together with my family's members, and then I chatted with my friends. I took my dinner. Then I went to my sleep. That's all.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Please type in the chat box. How was his presentation? Type in the chat box, please. I'd like to see. Okay. So please type in chat box. So Ruji Rahman, can you please unmute yourself and give a presentation? So what did you do yesterday? You need to unmute yourself first. Okay, let me give this opportunity to someone else. So Sumaya said presentation. Let me find.
So I can't see the picture.
Okay. So without the picture, give a presentation. What did you do yesterday? Share with us.
Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Firstly, I got up early in the morning. Then I brushed my teeth and washed my hands and face. And then I made my breakfast and ate some. Then I had a cup of tea. Then I checked the group notification from the self-education, and I made the homework for but I didn't made it first time. So I had to perform it several times. Then in the afternoon,
So now I'd like to find out another person. Can you please type in the chat box? So how was the presentation from Ruji Rahman? Type in the chat box, please. And who was interested to give a presentation? Okay, I can see here, I mean, a lot of ladies, female students, they are very active. So you see on my screen, I requested who is very much interested to give a presentation. And I can see most of the students are female, right? Congratulations. So you are really well advanced. So this opportunity goes to Salma Akhtar. Let me find her from the group. So Salma Akhtar, can you please unmute yourself and yeah, give a presentation. So what did you do yesterday?
Assalamualaikum.
Aslam?
Yeah, thanks, give me for the chance.
Mhm.
But I cannot presentation.
Mhm.
I prepared properly, but I am admitted in a hospital.
Mhm. Okay, sorry to hear that. So would you like to still give a presentation?
Sorry.
Okay, no problem. Next time. So I'd like to take the last person who would like to give a presentation. So Shahriar Hassan and Bilal Hussain. Shahriar and Bilal. Okay. So let me find, let's see which one I'm gonna get first. Okay, so because some people are dropping due to network issue and some people are joining. That's why the place is moving so fast. So Bilal, I got you. So can you please unmute yourself and yeah, share with us what did you do yesterday?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry for earlier because I'm in outside, so that's why I didn't respond early.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to talk about I did study a lot of things. Like I got up early and I brushed my teeth and made breakfast and had a cup of coffee, took my breakfast as well, as I mentioned earlier, and got ready for my office. I leave my office for work. I left my office for work and took bus, arrived at office on time, and started working. In the afternoon, I had lunch and took rest and started working, and then left my office and went to tea stall. And once I go to tea stall, then I took a cup of coffee and took a bus and returned home and refreshed myself and gossiped with my family, especially my mom, and then attend 15 days challenge and finished my homework. At night, I got together with my family, took some snacks and helped to cook, took dinner and read some books and chatted with my friends and took a look on Tomor's plan. I also had some practiced my IELTS and got ready to sleep and went to bed.
Thank you, Bilal, for sharing that. So Shahriar, can you please unmute yourself and share with us, so what did you do yesterday?
Thank you, sir, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. Yes, I like to. And firstly, in the morning, I brushed my teeth. Then afterwards, I made my bed. and took some of lemon tea. I went outside for a morning walk, and then I obviously did some workout. Then again, I refreshed myself. I took my breakfast. Then afterwards, I prepared myself for the whole day. Then I take a cup of coffee and read some newspaper. In the afternoon, I always took my lunch and watched television. Then took some rest. I went outside to play football. Then afterwards, I hang out with my friends. Then I took my pairs and I walked around the park.
Thank you, Sharia. So now, so he used a lot of vocabularies. For example, hang around, right? And just I'd like to get back to one of the vocabularies who is used by Bilal. He said gossip, right? So can you please type in the chat box? What's the meaning of gossip? Type in the chat box if you know exactly the meaning of gossip. Type in the chat box, please. So you have to write it. Okay, gossip means chatting. Rosie Rahman said, okay, anything else? Type in chat box. Chatting, okay. Anything else? So, okay, I think it's better if I show you exactly from Google what the gossip means. Where is that? Let me find. Okay, so is it? Okay. So if I go to the meaning, okay, here it said gossip is casual or unconstant conversation or reports about other people typically involved in details that are not confirmed as being true. That means it's kind of backbiting, right? I know, I mean, he didn't mean it intentionally. So gossip is a negative word, right? If I go to Cambridge dictionary here, so it says, right? So someone who enjoys talking about other people and their private lives. Usually we don't do that. So reports about other people private lives that might be unkind. So the reason I'm showing this because I used to do these mistakes, and one of my teacher, he said, really, you do gossip? And I said, yes, I do. He said, you sure? I said, yes, I do. I didn't know that gossip means backbiting. I mean, saying something negative at the absence of someone else. So he said, are you sure? I said, yeah, I'm sure. I gossip with people. And he said, no, you shouldn't say this. You should say chat or hobnob, right? So gossip, from now on, instead of using gossip, we're gonna use something else like chatting or something else. So if you understood me, what I mean by that is, so can you please type in the chat box, instead of gossip, what are you gonna use? Type in the chat box, please. Okay, so type in the chat box, please. Instead of gossip, we use chat. Okay, this is the learning for everyone else. And as I told you, I used to make this mistake as well. So instead of gossip, you're gonna use chat. And sometimes we use maximum and most. We make a lot of mistakes and we confuse about these two things, right? So maximum and most. So I definitely recommend you, please go to Google and ask now the best teacher is Google or YouTube. So if you struggle somewhere else, just all you need to do is go to Google and just type the question and Google will provide the answer. So if you type like, what's the difference between most and maximum, then you will see, I mean, even I would say for many years, I have used most and maximum in a wrong way. So you should check with that as well. So now I'd like to show you some things. This is gonna be very, very important. Okay. Okay, so this is the thing I wanted to share. Okay, this is the thing. So can you please type in the chat box? What's the past of do? What's the past of do? Type in the chat box, please. What's the past of do? Excellent, excellent. So did. So now, can you remember what was our first structure? Type in the chat box. What was our first structure? There was subject plus verb. Please type in the chat box. So number one was subject plus verb. Yeah, that was first structure. And this is the structure. So subject verb agreement. And this is how we make a lot of sentences, right? And the next structure was how to ask a question using do, yes, no question. So the structure was do plus subject plus verb. Can you please type in the chat box? Number two structure is do plus subject plus verb. For example, do listen to me, do learn from me, do practice English, do you want to learn English, do you want to sit for IELTS exam. So all the question I'm asking, so your answer should be yes, I do, or I don't. It's called yes, no question. That was the structure, second structure, right? Do plus subject plus verb and a question mark. Do plus subject plus verb and a question mark. So the third structure we have practiced is WH words plus do plus subject plus verb. Please write down the third structure. What's the third structure? Please write it down. Because if you don't understand the rule, the structure, it is going to be always confusing for you. So please type in the chat box WH word plus do plus subject plus verb plus question mark, right? So you asked me a lot of questions. So why do you watch football match? When do you watch football match? How do you watch football match? Which team do you support? So you ask these questions using this structure. The same way, so if I go to the first structure, do plus subject plus verb plus question mark, the second structure, right? Do plus subject plus verb plus question mark. So for past form, just we need to make did instead of do, and we are ready to practice, right? So for past tense, so all you got to do, we need to put did instead of do. So this is how we're gonna make a lot of sentences. Did I speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did he speak? Did Tony speak? Here's the one thing why I'm sharing it to you at the easy structure, because this is not all about the structure. That's not the reason I'm sharing it to you. The reason I'm sharing it is when you had did, you got to answer in past form using verb to. So if I ask you a question using did, your answer should be past form. Now I'm going to ask you a question. So if I ask you a question using do, which tense you going to use, present or past? Type in the chat box. If I use do and ask you a question, so which tense you going to use, present or past? Of course, present. Thank you. Thanks for responding. Now, the next question I'm going to ask you is a very, very tough question. Are you ready? So if I ask you a question using did, which tense are you going to use? Type in the chat box. Type in the chat box. Yeah, that's right. So you got to hear it properly, right? So when someone is asking a question, pay attention. So is it did or do or something else? And according to the question, you got to answer. So if you really understood, please type in the chat box understood. This is very, very important. There are a lot of students, they don't understand, they don't pay attention. So if I ask you a question using do, you got to answer me in present form. If I ask you a question using did, you got to answer me in past form. So please type in the chat box if you understood. Okay, excellent. So now, the toughest question I'm going to ask you. So if I ask you a question using will, which tense are you going to use? Type in the chat box. If I ask you a question using will, which tense are you going to use? Of course, future, right? Of course, future. So that's the thing you need to understand. So if you understand these things, I would definitely tell you, so you have got less possibilities to make mistakes, right? So please pay attention when someone asks you a question. For example, if I ask you, so why did you learn English, right? So you need to understand why did you learn English, he said, or why do you learn English, he said. According to do and did, you need to answer it. If you're really clear, please type in the chat box, clear. Okay, next thing I'm gonna share with you is now you need to practice with me, because if you don't practice, we make a lot of mistakes. So Now we need to make a lot of sentences using this structure. So did I speak? Did we speak? Did you speak? Did you speak? Did they speak? Did he speak? Did she speak? Did he speak? Did Tony speak? So what I'm gonna do, I will unmute yourself, and all you need to do, you need to give me all the sentences using one breath, right? All the sentences using one breath. So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
Why did
I
I
speak, did you
speak?
speak, did you speak, did you speak, did they speak, did he speak, did she speak, did he speak, did Tony speak?
Did I speak? Did we speak? Did
Guys, do you speak?
Thank you. So
we speak?
I'm gonna one more
How
time.
did he speak? How did he speak? How did he?
No, I didn't say that. So this structure we're gonna practice. I'm gonna again unmute yourself. You got to give me all the sentences together and using one breath. So please type in chat box. How many breaths you're gonna use? How many breaths you're gonna use? Type in chat box. Just one, right? So I think you are ready. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Did I speak?
Did I speak, did we speak, did you speak, did you speak,
I speak? Did we speak?
Did
Tony speak?
Did he speak? Did she speak?
they speak?
Excellent. So you did very well. You did very well. So now what we're gonna do is the same structure, just we are adding W's question, right? So why? So how we're gonna practice is the same structure. So WSR plus did plus subject plus verb. So why did I practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? This is how we're gonna practice. And our WSR is just why. Using why, you're gonna use it, right? So please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences using why. We're gonna start with why did I practice? Why did we practice? This is how. Please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go.
Why did I
speak? Why did we speak? Why did we practice?
Why did he speak? Why did she speak? Why did she speak? Why did Tony speak?
Did I practice? Why?
Did I practice? Why did we practice? Why did you practice?
Okay, so Afruza, can you
Why
Why did
they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why Tony practice?
The Zoom is really weird because
Why
stop there. Okay, so Topumiya, can you please unmute yourself? Mr. Topumiya, please unmute yourself. Okay, so can you please give me all the sentences using one breath? Why?
Why did I practice? Why did we practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice?
Excellent. Can you please type in the chat box? Thanks, Topumiya. Right. So now I need another volunteer. So Izaz Alisha, can you please? I'm not sure. Okay. Sharif Khan, can you please unmute yourself, Sharif Khan? Sharif,
yes, sir.
Okay. Can you please give me all the sentences in one breath?
Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did I practice? What did they practice? Or why did he practice? Why did Tony practice?
Okay, excellent. So you got to practice a little bit more. So please mute yourself. Ruhul Amin, can you please unmute yourself? Ruhul, can you please unmute yourself? Okay, so Rifat, can you please unmute yourself, Rifat? Okay, Ontu Shaha, can you please unmute yourself? Sorry, you.
Why did I practice? Why did we practice? Why did you practice? Why did you practice? Why did they practice? Why did he practice? Why did she practice? Why did it practice? Why did Tony practice? Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So now we're gonna practice with how. So are you ready? If you're ready, please unmute yourself, and we're gonna practice with how. So let me read them out first. So how did I practice? How did you practice? How did you practice? How did you practice? How did they practice? How did he practice? How did she practice? How did you practice? How did Tony practice? So this is how we're gonna make all the sentences together. So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start with how.
How did I practice?
How did I
How did I practice? How did you practice?
How did
you practice? How did practice? How did she practice? How did it?
How did you practice? How did you practice? The practice? How did you practice? How did I practice? How did you
practice? How
Excellent. So always keep in mind that if you are using which, after that we need to put a noun, right?
did she practice? How did it practice? How Tony? How did Tony practice?
Okay. So from here, so if you are using which, and after that we're gonna put a noun. So for example, which language, right? Which language did I practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? This is how we need to practice. So now I'm gonna request Fahim. Fahim, can you please unmute yourself and give me all the sentences using which language?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Which language did I practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did they practice? Which language did he practice? Which language did she practice? Which language did he practice? Which language did Tony practice?
Excellent, excellent. Can you please type in the chat box? Thanks, Fahim. So now, what I'm gonna do, I will take you to the practice session again, but this time give it a try, because we have been practicing this kind of a structure for long. If you cannot make all the sentences using one breath, that means you haven't practiced properly, right? And still, if you're struggling with this structure, I definitely recommend you practice at home. The more you're gonna practice, the more confidence you're gonna have to ask questions. So please unmute yourself, all of you. Unmute yourself, and we're gonna practice with which language, right? So please unmute yourself. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start.
Which language?
Which language did I practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice? Which language did you practice?
Did you practice? Which language did they practice? Which language did he practice? Which language did she practice?
Did practice? Which language Tony is practicing?
Language did.
Excellent, excellent. So now, what I'm gonna do, I'll give a word, and all you need to do, you need to ask a question. So for example, if I give a word like holiday, right? Holiday. And if I request you to ask me a question regarding my past holiday, right? So what's the question you're gonna ask me using do verb? Type in the chat box. Let me tell you one more time. So if I request you to ask me a question regarding my past holiday, so what would be your yes, no question? Type in the chat box. So let's say last year, last month, something like this, right? So try to use did, right? So did you, so what could be the sentence? Did you? So did you go for the holiday last year or last month? Did you go for a holiday last year or last month? So please type in chat box. Did you? Did you go for a holiday, or did you have a holiday last year? No, just ask me the exact question. So did you go for a holiday last year? Just type in the chat box, please. Did you go for a holiday last year? Okay, so the reason I'm asking you, because there is a reason behind it, right? So just type in the chat box. Did you go for a holiday last year? Okay, so the answer I should say yes, I did, right? Yes, I did. So the next question, What are you gonna ask me? Type in the chat box now. Now this is your turn. Ask me a lot of questions using holiday. Ask me a lot of questions using holiday. Okay, so now you need to use WS word, right? So which place, when, how, why, where. So type in chat box. Okay, Junaid, give me the proper sentence. So your sentence should be, why did you go to holiday? Something like this. So before that, you need to understand, where did I go to holiday, right? Yeah, that's the. So Bisha said, where did you stay last holiday, right? Or where did you go to holiday last year? Something like this. So I went to Scotland last year. I went to Scotland last year. Okay, the next question is, when did you, okay, when did you holiday? So Sahab, you got to follow this structure. So your question should be, when did you go for holiday? When did you go for your holiday? Okay, so that should be the question. So you need to follow the structure. If you don't follow the structure, you are making mistakes, right? That's the thing I'm trying to help you so that you can make the question properly. So now, okay, so let's ask the question together. So I'm gonna give you a WS word, you need to ask me a question. So the first thing I'm gonna give you, where. Ask me a question using where. And the topic is holiday. Type in the chat box, where. Where did you, type in the chat box, please. Everyone else, I'd like to see. Where did you go for holiday? Yeah, that's right, Junaid. So the question is, where did you go for holiday? So I'm answering. So I went to Scotland. Next question, please ask me why. So using why, ask me another question. So I answered you, I went to Scotland, right? I went to Scotland in Inverness. So that's a beautiful place, I would say. So next question is, why did you go to Scotland? That should be a question. Why did you go to Scotland? Yeah, that's right. Why did you go to Scotland? So I went to Scotland because it's literally a heaven. It's literally a heaven. So that's why it's a beautiful place, and that's why I went to Scotland. Next question, ask me. So how long? Using how long, ask me a question. How long? How long? Excellent, excellent, Arkan. So the question would be, how long did you stay there? So because I live in England right now, so this is here, and Scotland is there. So how long did you stay there? That's the question, right question. So type in the chat box, everyone else. How long did you stay there? How long did you stay there? Right? How long? So this is here, and that's there, right? So how long did you stay there? So yeah, that's the right question. How long did you stay there? So I stayed there for 7 days. I stayed there for 7 days. I stayed there for 7 days. So past form. So you asked me using did, and I'm answering you using past form. I stayed there for 7 days. Next question asked me how, using how. How. So using how, please ask me a question. How. So you can say, how did you go there, right? How did you go there? Okay. So so I went there by driving. Usually people go by plane, but I went there by driving. Okay, next question, please ask me using when. Exactly when. So ask me a question using when. Ask me a question using when. Okay, so exactly, okay. So yeah, that's right. When did you come back? So I came back after 7 days. And if you ask me, when did you go there? I went there during summer. Okay. Okay. The last question you can ask me using who is town. Who is town? Who is town? So type in the chat box, who is town? Who is town? So which town did you stay there? Excellent. So Ruzi Rahman, excellent. So which town did you stay there? Right. So I stayed in different towns. One of them was Edinburgh, and the other one was Inverness. Right. So which town did you stay there? Now you see, you can make the questions, right? So just here is the thing. So once you hear the question, that if it is past, so answer them in the past. If it is present, answer them in the present. If it is future, answer them in the future. So you did really well. You did really well. So now I'd like to share with you the because I have got 15 minutes, because there should be another class. Anyway, so let me find out the thing. Okay. Here you go. The topic: a holiday you enjoyed the most, right? A holiday you enjoyed the most. And you asked me this sort of question. So all you got to do, you need to make a presentation. So a holiday you enjoyed the most. Now my question is, the topic is a holiday you enjoyed the most. Which tense you gonna use? Type in the chat box, please. A holiday you enjoyed the most. Which tense you gonna use? Yeah, of course, it's past, right? A holiday you enjoyed the most. So you're gonna bring a lot of experience from past, so it got to be past. So can you remember step 1? Write down the topic. Step 2, ask a lot of questions. Step 3, answer them. Step 4, talk for 3 minutes. Excuse me. So this is how you need to practice. So you have practiced a lot with me, I mean, last 5 days, and you have done really well. So all you got to do, you need to keep doing it. How are you gonna keep doing it? So you got to take a topic, and you need to ask 4 or 5 questions according as I showed you. So for example, the topic is a holiday. Now you're asking a question is, where did you go? When did you go there? How did you go there? How long did you stay? And interesting memory with that particular holiday. So if you ask and answer this question, that means you know how to ask and you know how to answer as well, right? And once you ask and answer, then you're ready. Then you're gonna say, hey, hi everyone, my name is Habib, and today I'd like to share the topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most. Then you need to start. So I went to Scotland for my holiday last year. So this is how you need to talk at least 3 minutes. So this is your homework, right? And I'd like to see everyone else. I mean it. Everyone else video, especially on the Facebook group. And if you haven't done yet, definitely I would recommend you please do it. Watch the whole videos from class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and upload the video. And this is going to help a lot. So I would definitely ask you a few questions right now. How did you enjoy this class? So if you have done all the homeworks from class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think you have learned so many things, and you have built up your confidence as well. So now if someone has started speaking with you, you will say, okay, welcome. You're in the right place. I'd like to speak with you, right? So this is the homework. So if you'd like to take a screenshot, please take a screenshot, and definitely. So before finishing, I'd like to remind you a few things. Is I have promised you that you're gonna get free English IELTS, free IELTS English course, right? Free IELTS preparation course. Can you remember? Can you remember free IELTS preparation course? So if you can remember, please type in the chat box, yes, I can. That's how you need to answer. That's how you have learned from me. So yeah, so in the 60 classes, can you remember who is gonna take speaking and listening? Type in the chat box, please. Who's gonna take your speaking and listening? Type in the chat box. Who will take your speaking and listening module? So his name is Steve. That's right. Type in the chat box. Who was the name? Steve. Yeah, that's right. So Steve will conduct speaking and listening. Who's gonna take reading and writing? Type in the chat box. Still, if you can remember. I know some of you have got photographic memory. So type in the chat box. Who is gonna take you reading and writing? Who? Who? Type in the chat box, please. Okay. I didn't disclose his name. I said ex-British Council examiner. Type in the chat box what I just said. Ex-British Council examiner. So he's gonna conduct the class of reading and writing, right? And I said someone else about IELTS workshop, right? IELTS workshop. So who's gonna take the class of IELTS workshop? Still, if you can remember, please type in the chat box. Who is he? IELTS workshop. Yeah, so who's gonna take the class? No, I didn't say ex-British Council examiner. I said he studies at British Columbia University in Canada, and he scored 8.5 out of 9. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Luigi. So he got 8.5 out of 9, right? So these are the 3 teachers. They're gonna take all the IELTS preparation course. How many classes are you gonna get together? Please type in the chat box. How many classes are you gonna get all together? I'd like to see everyone else comment. How many of you would like to get all the classes together? Yeah, so all together is gonna be 60 classes. So just think about this. You have learned so many things from only these 5 classes. So if you enjoy 60 classes, where will you go? Just imagine. So you have, come through this far, 5 days speaking challenge, and you have learned so many things. You have studied speaking, you have got so much confidence, and I know you have studied speaking. So still I can remember. So when I started speaking, my instructor, he said, try to speak with everyone else, and if you can't, still you speak in your brain. So at that time, still I can remember. So when I was riding by bus, and bus conductor, he doesn't understand English. So I was telling him, when he was asking for the bus fare. So my hand was reaching my pocket, on the hip pocket, and I was grabbing my wallet, and I say, here you go, right? But here I say, here you go. But in Bengali, I say, this is your money, take it, right? So this is how you need to do it. By these 5 classes, you have done so well, you got confidence, you understand me. Now, I'm going to ask you a question is, so did I speak with you any other language rather than English? Type in the chat box. Which language did I speak with you? Type in the chat box. What was the medium of the class I have taken? Junior said Bengali. Did I? Shab said Japanese, okay? I'm glad to know that. So the medium of the class was English, right? So you understand me. And that's the only thing you need to understand. So if you understand me, probably you'll understand Steve as well. And if you understand Steve, you are welcome to the 60 classes of IELTS preparation course. And as I told you, it's completely free. It's completely free. Type in the chat box. Free IELTS preparation course. I'd like to see how many of you are still interested and committed to do that. Type in the chat box, free IELTS preparation course. Yeah, that's right. So free IELTS preparation course, and as I shared with you, but we have got 2 conditions, and I'm gonna share it with you on Monday. I think I have confirmed already Steve. So Monday, Steve is gonna take a class, and the reason I'm giving that class to you is because before studying the class, when someone hears that, well, a British IELTS instructor will take the class, they will understand, well, will I be able to understand British teacher? If I don't understand, what's the reason I'm doing the classes? So that's why I'm going to give you the opportunity to have a class with him. So yeah, enjoy the class with him. If you understand him, and if you have got a lot of courage to learn from him as well, and from other 2 teachers as well, you are most welcome, right? So I'm going to give you 1 day to revise all the classes and submit your homework in the Facebook group, because a lot of you are much more interested getting the certificates. So once I see you have submitted your 5 homeworks, we're going to give you the certificate. That's the first thing. And second thing is, so tomorrow there is no class. Your next class, bonus class with Mr. Steve. And on that class, we're going to offer you something that's called free IELTS preparation course with 2 conditions. And I'm going to disclose that in that class. So I do believe that we'll see you in the next class on Monday at 2 p.m. So until then, we would like to say goodbye. And before saying goodbye, I'd like to take some questions. So if you've got any questions, please type in the chat box. I'd like to answer it. And so if you've got any questions, now I know you know how to ask questions. So please type in the chat box and I'll answer you. Right. So thanks for joining this 5-day challenge, and thank you Hasselfield Education team. Now I'd like to take some sort of feedback. So how did you enjoy these 5 classes all together? So who would like to share? Who would like to share? So how did you find these 5 classes? I'd like to hear from you, your feedback. So all you can do, you can write down that is me. Okay, I can understand the next homework. So, okay, the next homework is a holiday you enjoyed the most. So that's the topic, and you need to ask questions. So where did you go? When did you go? How did you go there? How long did you stay there? And an interesting story or memory with that particular holiday experience. So once you ask and answer, then you need to give a presentation, and that presentation will be your homework. So you're gonna say, hey, my name is Habib, and I'd like to share the topic, and the topic is a holiday I enjoyed the most, and I went to Scotland last year. You need to keep you speaking for 2-3 minutes. That's the homework, right? So now I'd like to ask you. So if you'd like to share with us your feedback, your experience with us these 5 days, and probably I'm gonna take 1 or 2 people, and then we're gonna finish the class. Okay, so Antusha, if you'd like to know the conditions, you got to attend day after tomorrow's class on Monday. Okay, so anybody else is there? Okay, so Arkan, this is your 5th class. How many classes have you enjoyed? So if you've got any questions, please type in the chat box. I'll answer you. And apart from this, just I'd like to take some sort of feedback. So I'd like to request you, Ruzi Rahman, can you please unmute yourself and share with us? So how did you find this 5-day challenge? What did you learn? How did you enjoy it? Sorry, I muted mistakenly again. So unmute yourself.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. Firstly, I want to thanks to Hustle for Education. Because of them, I attend the 5-day speaking challenge with you and everyone. So I really enjoyed the class with you. It's English basically. If I can't exercise or prepare for English, I can't improve myself for English skill. So it's really important, and I really enjoyed the class.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome. So how confident you are right now to speak with someone else? 0 to 10.
10 out of 8.
Very good. So 8 out of 10. That's very good. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. So now I'd like to take another one. So who would like to share with us? Okay. Okay. I'd like to give this opportunity to someone who enjoyed all the classes. So Bilal, can you please share with us?
Hey, first I would like to thanks so much, because I have learned a lot of things, especially I did a lot of mistake from my first, like I how to ask them someone on a special. You guys are really playing out mostly ask someone any type of question. So and like I have learned, and like 2 days before I was asking you like in the afternoon at afternoon, and you are like correct me like in the afternoon. So I have noticed all the things. So I like to think so. I have learned a lot of things from you, and a lot of like thousands, millions of thanks to you and your family and everyone, because we are like-minded people.
Okay, thank you, Bilal. Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Sorry, we haven't got that much time. So Shahriar, can you please share in 1 or 2 minutes? So how did you find this course?
Thank you, sir. Actually, I have done all the classes, and the classes was pretty much good. But I am facing a lot of problem. Like whenever I talk to someone, I can't spontaneously speak. Sometimes I mumble a lot. Like I used to think, and sometimes I forget the importance of the words and can't use them in my sentence. Can you, sir, suggest me think about it? Any kind of advice, if you like to? Like I need to find those words. I know a lot of vocabularies which helps me, but I can't use them. That's the problem I am facing right now.
Okay, thank you, Shahriar. So I think class number 1 or 2, I have shared your tactic. So all you got to do, you need to find a speaking partner. So there are a lot of videos you can see on the Facebook. So I requested as well, suggested as well. So all you got to do, you need to just comment, positive comment. You need to watch the video, and if you find someone else is speaking very good, so you can send a request that, can I please speak with you? Can I practice with you for 30 days every day? And this is how, if you practice for like say 2-3 weeks, you will see you won't find any sort of mumbling and all that stuff. So thank you, everyone, and see you Monday 2 p.m. with Steve. Thank you. Bye-bye.